once again, my name is Abi or Tina. So my group, we did talk about the land, and my personal love story that I share with the land was the open space and how I found this place. Because I come from a generation of Methodists, and during like closer to shutting down, I was kind of looking for a place, and I saw the whole environment online, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to visit and see how things go. I'm so thankful and grateful that you guys have been so welcoming, and it feels like home. I was telling my group that the first day that I drove here, it was a weekday because I wanted to come by myself and see how the environment looked. And when I came, I was able to connect with the land. And I stayed here a little bit, prayed, walked around, and I felt the connection because where I'm coming from, like, there's always an open space, and I grew up on the farm, so constantly I fell in love with the place. And during the shutdown around December, I also had a surgery, and I was so thankful, and that was the first time I truly appreciated the land, because I was able to drive here every single day because I was on FMLA, and I'll just come, just sit here, pray, stay here for hours, and there wasn't anybody here, and I felt the peace, like, and I will share this with all of you here that there's God's presence here because I felt it. So I'm thankful that I have this place that I call home as a church. So this is a home for me. Thank you.
Funny that Stephanie's talking about learning lessons. I have new hearing aids today, folks. And so it's all about listening, learning to listen a different way. My story, I'm going to tell you about our baptismal back there, that bird bath fountain. I'm not an easy person to get along with or like at times. I'm quite the introvert and not real friendly all the time, which is true, Stephanie. But I've tried to become a kinder and gentler person and finding things in my life that make me a kinder and gentler person, like gardening, like owning a dog, and coming here. Try to do this without getting stopped up. Well, one of the complicated relationships in my life, love isn't always easy, is it? I had a very complicated relationship with my mother. Always did. And one of the things that my mother loved and was thrilled with was that I was finally going to church. That I had finally, my soul was going to be saved, might even see heaven if I kept this up. And she was thrilled. And I talked her into coming out here one time, about 2 or 3 years ago. And it was a very difficult time for the Methodist Church. It's when the church was going through these awful decisions about whether to allow gay people to be part of their community. And Stephanie did a very moving sermon about that, about how at this church everyone was always welcome, and that she couldn't wait to baptize gay babies or preside over a lesbian marriage. Well, my mother turned to me and said, well, I can't be here. I said, what do you mean? She said, I don't believe in lesbians. So when I went up and told Stephanie about this later, she said, why didn't you tell her I said thespians? But anyway, Mom did come back, and I have this incredible photograph of my mother with her big hat. She loved any excuse to wear a hat. And she's sitting on the hay bale, all dressed in her church finery, talking to Stephanie. And I overheard Stephanie say to her, are you happy? Do you like living where you're living? Because she was living in a senior center. And my mother said, I have never been happier in my life. And her heart gave out and she died 3 days later. And so it meant the world to me, the love of this land, and that they heard that. You know, that Mom was really happy, and moving her here to Colorado was a good thing. And so also I'm almost done. So also during that time when Stephanie said, I can't wait to baptize gay babies, she said, but we don't have a baptismal. And Stephanie told me that she had seen this bird bath at Tagawa Gardens, and if only we had enough in the budget to buy it. So Mom gave the money that I went to Tagawa and bought that the week Mom died. So that's from my mother. And thank you, see. But remember, I am not a kind and gentle person, but I'm working on it.